This is Palworld, the Pokemon game that, allegedly Pokemon game, but it's with guns. I'm kidding. Kind of. It's a survival game with lots of elements from Pokemon. We literally have Pal catching, we have gym leaders, and then we also have an assembly line to create Power Balls and ammo. In order to get this Platinum Trophy, I'll have to catch every single Pal in the game, including 4 legendaries. I'll have to beat 6 gym leaders and then do it all over again on the hardest difficulty, and then finally summon and defeat 3 Super Boss Pokemon. I mean, Pals. Super Boss Pals. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this journey.
Yes! Yes!
We wake up washed up on a beach with 3 pals checking in on us before running off out of fear. Once we gain control of our character, our first goal is to make a base camp, and then we start our first shift, gathering. Like most survival games, you need to gather materials to create weapons, furniture, basically anything and everything. And Palworld is no different, so cutting down trees, mining rocks, and then mining this weird blue rock will give us fragments. We also get materials from killing and catching pals, and then also from random chests that are scattered around the world. In my first chest, I found 2 spheres, which is exactly what I need to catch my first pal. Whoa, beginning of the legend. With my very basic base up and running, I have enough supplies coming in to create a healthy amount of power spheres. So I just decided to run out and catch some more random pals. I caught him! What the heck? Later on the first island, I come across a security detail, and surely you can't catch a real person and lock them in a sphere, right? Right? Oh my god, I can. At this point, I'm very much in the gameplay loop. You go farming for mats, you go back to the base to craft, you go out, you catch more pals, rinse and repeat at this point. So here's 20 pals. Let's go! After a few hours, I come across the Tower of Rain Syndicate, which is one of the 6 gym leaders of the game. So gym leaders in Palworld are basically like an arena battle. You fight against a human riding their pal, or they're beside their pal, but usually they're always riding it, and usually they have a lot of health. But typically, like all pals, they can only use 3 to 4 abilities. My goal here was to use a pal I thought was powerful enough, and then use my little pea shooter crossbow to nuke Zoe and her Raichu down. And then finally, what feels like the longest 7 minutes of my life. Hillside Sovereign! So pals only level up as I do, and when I level up, I get skill points to use in this skill tree that is basically just a catalogue for new items that I can start creating. In this catalogue, not only does it contain better pal spheres, but it also has armor and sphere attachments, giving them unique throw animations that can catch them even easier. Allegedly. I don't get it. I'm losing my damn mind! Gym leader number 2 is Lily and Lylene, which is located in the middle of the cold mountains. And with that information, her pal element is obviously... oh, it's grass. It's just grass. These girlies come with 69k health, and again, with its usual 4 abilities. At this point, I just had some very strong fire type powers that just made very quick work of these 2. Ring on! I did it! I thought I had the ring on! In the mid-level 30s, I got access to a new flying pal, which makes running around and catching all the new pals such a breeze. I also got access to this ring, which allows me to nuke a pal and not reduce it below 1 health. This basically gives me the highest capture percentage rate that I could possibly get. Let's go! 90 kind of pals. The next trophy I received was for defeating the 3rd gym leader, Axel, and despite being in a volcano, this guy actually is an electric with a dragon flavor type. Yo, what is going on? Oh, I've seen one of these. Never mind. Not that cool. There's no real tactic here. I just cycle through my pals. Once they got weak, I just brought them back and I go again with a different pal. I only have 10 minutes here to kill a leader once I've commenced the fight. So this one was actually a little closer than I thought it would be. Oh my god, it was 4 seconds. After that point, I got a few levels and I'm like, well, the last gym leader was close, but not close enough. So I immediately run to the next gym leader in the PIDF file tower, and we find Marcus and his fire pal, Flareus. And luckily for him, I caught a German tide, and I just ate too much fire. So I go back, but this time with a rocket launcher. Yep, a rocket launcher.
There it is.
So I'm now pushing level 60, which is the cap for the game, and allows me at the best chance at some of the legendary pals that are hanging around, which gives me a massive power spike. But also... So my first order of business is to set up capturing Lugia. And doing this involves catching a lot of rockets for my launcher and then setting up a base in his spawn location. Doing this allows me to get out 19 powers at the same time, so that if my base or myself is attacked, all of those powers are going to get on the offensive and start getting aggressive. And as they start to die, I can always just go in and just replace those that are knocked out with fresh powers, giving me just an army really. But even with him being at 1 HP and using the third best spheres in the game, it only gives me a capture chance of 10%. Come on. One more. Let's go! Legendary Celestial Dragon. So this is just a quick recap of where I'm currently at. I am level 60, I have a legendary dragon that I can ride, and I heard that there's an oil rig that contains oil that you can just loot, which is the very end game material that I'll need for further armor upgrades and weapon upgrades. But it also has a gold trophy for clearing it. I mean, maybe it was a fluke. This game sucks. So I guess on that note, I'm just going to come back at a later time, which is fine because we have another late game activity that we could do with the summoning altar. So when running through dungeons, there is a reward that you get at the end for 1 or 2 slab fragments. Combining 4 of the same fragments in a summoning altar will summon the power associated to the fragments. With high difficulties of the levels will change what fragments you receive, and at the time of playing there were only 3 in the base game, with a 4th being added with the 3 DLC updates. My first completed fragment was the lowest level one, Bella Noir. She was a level 30, which being a level 60 with a legendary power, I expected to one-shot. But even with 300k health, she wasn't too bad, just a massive bullet sponge. Whew, Twilight Siren, summoned and defeated Bella Noir. Okay, that's enough messing about. It's time to head back to the gym leaders for my 5th gym leader in the game, which is Riku from Kingdom Hearts 2. With Lugia and Gyarados and a lot of rockets, I made very quick work of this, earning my 13th trophy. Gyarados, I'll do it. Let's go! Astral Sovereign. Surely now is the time to face my old enemy, the one that got away, the oil rig. It's time to jump back on my beloved dragon, charge and ascend the skies, and... But being quick on my toes, I jumped on my ice stag and I was able to make it to the base of the rig. Knowing how strong the lasers are, I was very worried for how hard this was really going to be. I just bolted to the nearest safe area in the corner and I tried to take the guards out slowly one at a time as they were going, and then I found this little bad boy. Whoa! Seize the rig? With the oil rig down, all I really have to do now is catch all the pals, catch all the legendaries, and then finish up my last gym leader. Oh, and then go back and do them all again on the hard mode. Fun. Back to the snowy ice caps, I came across Frostallion, which is the 2nd legendary power with a frost element, perfect for my party to give me a bit of variety. And for some reason, I edited the sliders to increase the amount of powers that are spawned within the world, meaning that I am now fighting 2 Frostallions at the same time. My initial tactic was to nuke them, run off, and then let them reset, because it wasn't resetting their HP until it did. No, they fully reset. And on my second try, it just didn't. So I used the same tactic, let them reset, and since it's during the night time, they would reset and then fall asleep, which also increases my capture chance rates. Yes! Let's go! For this next trophy, I'll let Corey from the past explain this one. That's so random. That's so annoying. I sat here, I put this, I ran off, I come back, I did it again. My pals are starving. I'm so ready to be done. For the last 2 legendary powers of the game, they actually make it very easy for us and they spawn them on top of each other. And instead of reversing the settings, I didn't know which one it was, I still have the 2 times spawning. But I made them significantly easier. Listen, I told you on my last trophy I was done. Judge-free environment, I'm sick of the game, I'm ready to be done. Okay, got one. Nice. Dark Knight of Legends. One more. Easy fucking game. Yes. Holy Knight of Legend. The last gym leader is Seiya and the coolest power in the game, Celine, who's just hanging on the moon. But unfortunately, due to my sliders... And... Blossom Sovereign. I almost feel bad. You know what? I'm not going to justify it. I'm not going to justify it. Listen, I told you, I'm ready for the game to be done. Maybe this is taken away from the experience, but clearly survival games aren't for me. Technically, the third summon boss that people will run into was actually my second due to the nature of RNG and getting my fragment drops from the dungeons. This is Blazemut Ryu, a power we've seen earlier in the game, but not like this. Even with my insane sliders, this still took me 3 minutes to kill. There it is, Incarnation of Eternal Flame. I'm still missing some slag fragments to summon the last ritual power that I need, so I went back and finished up the 20 dungeon trophies. Honestly, I thought this was going to take so much longer. Yay! 20 dungeons! Yes? Yes! And by that reaction, I obviously have gotten all 4 of the slag fragments needed to summon the last ritual summon power, Bella Noir Libero. Is that Spanish? Shocked to no one with my trusty rocket launcher and some random powers running around, I made quick work of this bad boy. A bit? No, she didn't. Yay! Eclipsed Siren. 07. So everyone knows catching pals is usually done by throwing spheres or Pokeballs at wild pals running around. But you can also breed the eggs that you find or that are dropped from these summon ritual events. This was my 140th reason. 140 different kinds of Pokemon pals. Okay, now there is literally nothing else for me to do in this game, so I just went back and went through all 6 gym leaders yet again, except this time on hard mode. And there is no real difference here other than increased health, they do a little bit more damage, and then they spawn with a new NPC or 2, but that's literally it. And you can only do this on the hard mode once you've finished them all off on the easy mode on your first go around, which is annoying, meaning that there's no way to make these stack in any way whatsoever. I figured at this point I'm going to start gearing up for a future trophy where I need to capture 1,000 pals, and for that I'll need at least 1,000 spheres. Yes! Okay, stop! 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 Everyone stop! Everyone stop! Everyone. So instead of doing this and running around catching pals like a level 1 loser, I gathered all the endgame resources that I had, and it took a year to build, but I got the homing sphere launcher. I'm gonna need a lot of Kativas. Kativas? And knowing their starting location has a lot of pals that spawn, let alone with some slider shenanigans, I put on my concentration face and I got to work, damn it. Come on. Thank God. With this machine called the Pal Essence Condenser, it allows you to sacrifice a pal to level up the stats of the same pal. Doing this 4 times will give you the max ranking, give it a max stats of 20% in damage, defense, and work stats. The follow-up trophy to this is maximizing the rank of 5 different pals, and at first glance I thought I'd have to collect 117 of 5 different pals. Thankfully I can use the Kativa I used to max rank, sacrifice it with a new Kativa, and make that the new max rank. I literally just did this 5 times and I got my trophy. Let's go! No grinding for me. So there's one thing I've not spoken about yet, and I'm going to give you a quiz, chat. In most open world games, what is it that is always usually paired with? Yep, okay, yep, fast travel, sure, but what else? Collectibles. So in Palworld, we have 2 different collectibles to go and get. One being notes, and the other one being Lift Monk effigies. Notes are... I actually don't know. I just looked at the interactive map and went and collected 40 of them. Thank goodness. It took me so long. The last collectibles I have to go get that I just mentioned is Lift Monk effigies. And these little bad boys can be used at an altar in your base to increase your capture rate, and I think something to do with abilities. Most of the times these weren't too bad at finding, but I found out that at night they are so much easier because they give off this massive green glow. Now there is a lot more than the 255 that you need, but I just only had to get 255 of them. Yes! Yes! At last, the final trophy I had to get was to craft 10,000 ammo of random swords. The amount of rockets that I used, or arrows, I shot in the game early enough I thought was going to be close to the 10,000, but boy was I very, very wrong. So I went back and I gathered about 3,000 arrows worth of wood on 2 separate occasions. I had my 3 Anubis working on the rocket ammo, and then I used my own bare hands to get through the last 2,000 arrows that I needed. Blood and iron. Palworld! Well, thanks for Wait, hold up. In the new area Faybreak, it opens up a few more pals which I was going to use if I wasn't going to be close enough to my full Pokedex in the base game. There's new materials to go and get for better gear, and then there's even a 7th gym leader. And I will say the devs are smart because I beelined it straight to the gym leader to get a quick silver trophy, but they put in the requirements of 3 unique mats that you need to get from the mini bosses that spawn on the map. Good for you guys. Good for you guys. What's up? Got the bounty token, okay. Should get me this one. Oh. Okay. So I finally get to Bjorn. This guy has a cool 500,000 health, and I'm sure does insane amounts of damage, but here in the moment is the breakdown of the situation. If I'm gonna do this legit, I think honestly to kill this guy without sliders on, it would take me like 40-50 hours to get the gear and the weapons needed, withstand his attacks, do more damage, and then on top of that, like get the stats needed on my pals to do stuff. I've got a lot more to do, a lot more games to play. Let's go, Sovereign of the Faybreak realm. And for my actual final trophy for Palworld, I have to defeat Xenolords. Xenolord slab. This guy is the 4th power that can be summoned, and I randomly actually got enough of these during my 20 dungeon grinds, which is lucky and very fun for me. I got my team all set up, and well, oh my gosh! It literally just one-shot my whole team. Dead. Bam! Invader from space. Okay, actually, thank you for watching. Subscribe.